Hi there, Catherine Meeson from Friends of Toolern Creek, and I've come down here today to link in with Earth Day Focus 2018 with a focus on plastics as the absolute menace that they are in the environmental sphere and in all of our lives. And I wanted to highlight for you the issue of tree guards and of course plastics in the drain, coming out of the drains, and general rubbish. And what happens when people do conservation work, yet there's no or little maintenance on the sites that they work in follow-up response. There doesn't seem to be people coming back years later to remove the guards from some trees and mature trees. So I want to search for some sort of maturer trees that are looking quite strangled by guards, and just showing you the growth rate of some other plants that have been planted with the guards. And I want to highlight also how through vandalism and other such things they end up in the waterway, floating downstream, and it really is a problem. Like, they help plants to stay alive, they help protect them from rabbits and so forth, but they are a problem in themselves. So we need to be creating biodegradable tree guards if at all possible. And there's enough genius in the world, there is enough materials that could be created, I'm sure, that they could make tough enough to turn into tree guards. Why not use the hemp industry or something like that? Anyway, let's go for a walk. I've already done a little bit of filming, some of it's in silence. Let's see what we can find. 2018 Earth Day focus on plastics. We have a garbage bin in the creek, as well as, of course, tree guards. It's the problem with drains and plastics, as you'll see. And this is literally down the end of my street. Look at all the different types of packaging, coat hangers, bottles, cans. The water's edge is just here. So that's a tree guard that's come downstream. If we go over here a little, whoop, you can see another one just caught in the waste that's come downstream. And here's a small section of trees that still have guards present. See, there's one through there. It's a bit hard to make it out from this angle. There we go. And there's more down the hill. Just walk with me. So I've come out with this focus this year for Earth Day because the focus is plastics, and I think with all the wonderful conservation work being done, there needs to be an effort to be follow-up work done to remove plastics. So you can see that one's still got a bit of room to breathe, but it won't be long before it gets suffocated. So one of those Australian lovely she oaks that have a beautiful sound when the wind blows through them. So we've there, another one there on a shrub type plant. Looks like they've been doing a bit of clearing through here and poisoning. Two old ones there with no effort to remove it. So this is beyond, and one under there. This is beyond Friends of Toolern Creek plant site. This planting has probably been done by council or contractors. Trees just over there. So let's go and have a look over there. Here's a guard without a tree. So maybe something's been planted here and it's been pulled out. A little baby she oak there. So one could say, whether this was put in as a weed retardant mat, that this tree is well and truly being suffocated. Look at that. It's becoming embedded into that. That needs to be cut off. Alright, because that's quite an established tree now. Needs to be liberated. It never ceases to amaze me, the things that people dump. You got a concrete, it might be some sort of protective fence thing actually. Let's have a look on the other side. The other half of it's just over there. If I can lift the darn thing. Ugh. Yeah, by the looks of it, it's possibly for a fence, for one of those temporary fencing, you know, the base they use to hold it in place. You got the other half of it down there. It's got no place down here at the creek. Rubbish, rubbish, rubbish. Tree guard with no tree in it. Bubble wrap. More plastic. It's just endemic everywhere. I've got to be really careful, but I just found a beehive down under this rock. I haven't known them to make hives under rocks, but they're coming in and out. Look at them. Hopefully I'm going to keep quiet about where this is because I don't want it being reported and then them killing the bees. Okay. So here's a site with a classic example. These would have been planted at the same time as the other ones. Starting to get strangulated by the plastic. Have a look through there. There's more through there. Let's go for a walk around. Sorry about the lawnmowers. That's a little baby. It's not too big a concern yet. That's one thing that's really enjoyable about walking in Australia is the crunch under the feet of the dry bark and the branches. Alright, see some more over here. lawnmower has stopped. Yay! Okay. So, here we go, it's a good cluster. That one, looking a bit strangulated. A few more through there. Okay, so have a look here. They all need to come out. And I can come here down my own and do it. And I guess I could put them in soft plastics recycling myself. But there's all the other stuff. Cans, margarine containers, more junk all down here. Of course. It's everywhere. And it looks like there's a dumping site through here. Let's take a look. Just before we hone in on that, I mean, look, polystyrene and cans, and look at it. Why do humans have to be such lazy shits? We have to change this behaviour. Nice cluster of plastics. Oh, there you go. Take your pick. What product do you want? Why don't we set up a corporate tax for corporations to ensure or go towards landscape rehabilitation for their products that end out in the natural world? What do you say, Pepsi? What do you say, Cheetos? This pack is not for sale. You know, that's a good way of generating some income to clean up stuff, is to tax companies and have everyone educate their consumers, to use that word, to responsibly dispose of waste, so it doesn't end up out like this. Like, seriously, look at it. There's another guard in through there. Look carefully. Up through there. There's all sorts of junk. That one's quite tight. And this part of the tool in here is quite pretty. It's only 10 minutes from my house, just down the end of the street. But up on the other side of the hill there, where you can see on the other side that it's very dry, is a massive new urban development taking place. It's quiet today because there's no construction, but it is so noisy. It's reduced the viable habitat for lots of species that were there, even though it was just more old cleared farmland. It's reduced the habitat and made this the green wedge. You know, it's the little green wedge. It's a little life corridor for birds, marsupials, bees, frogs, snakes, lizards. We do know that there's possums in the Toolern down the other end, in the new Toolern Regional Park right down there towards Werribee River, but here it's not likely. So let's keep having a look anyway, and yeah, I invite you to go into your own communities, to go to sites of conservation, sites where you might have done some planting, or to get out and get planting, but to remember, when you do plant, the things that you plant need to be not only maintained to try and help the survival of the plants to grow, but the site needs to be maintained when the plants are established, and to remove those guards so they're not creating further problems. This guard's not particularly visible anymore, but this is what I was talking about with them ending up being embedded and buried, and you just wouldn't know they were there. It's not suffocating, but it could sure do with coming off. There's another one, of course. So this is a mass planting that went in, I don't know, not all that long ago, maybe 5 years ago. They came down and did a bit of work. Here's a nice bit of polystyrene from a car, it looks like. The front grate of a car or something. How about that? Does that belong in a habitat like this? Wait for the wind gust to finish. You can see a nice piece of plastic bag hanging in that tree. What looks like foam down near the water's edge. More dumped car parts. Children's toys or tables or some such, foam, plastic boxes. None of this belongs here. Sorry for the shakes. No, it's just 20 metres up from the creek's edge, from this. It's beautiful there. We have a car radiator, and we have a, what do they call, a moped or something. Look at that. Just got to be really careful. This is just insanity, you know. What place does that have? Down a creek. No doubt there are millions of tyres down here in the water that we cannot see. A byproduct of the petrochemical age. Maybe someone's planning to put some extra large size fairies to sleep under this doona. What do you think? Doesn't belong here.